Hey everyone. Hey. This is Alan Wake.
As history repeats itself, the man remembers the patterns. He knows that he needs the missing part for the telescope.
I better find Dr. Meadows' car. That's where the camera should be.
This is Alan Wake's American Nightmare, technically. And I assume we're about halfway through. The game has begun its first loop. I'm going to guess there are 3 loops. The law in video games is there should always be 3 loops. I have played games where there are more loops, and when you get to the 4th loop, you're always really aggravated. But the one in which there was more loops, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because that'll spoil it, was actually an amazing game. I bet you can guess what I'm talking about if you've played it. Anyway, who cares? Not me. I'm here to play Alan Wake. And this time we're in the observatory, doing all the stuff we did before. And hopefully quicker, because now we know what we need to do. Flare gun ammo. I have a flare gun, I keep forgetting that. Turn on the radio.
Oh, praise be. You guys are coming through for me. A pretty little light just started blinking on my board here, and that means
who's the
a
caller?
out there. You know, when the hours stretch into eternity like this, when it feels like I'm stuck in a rut and just reliving the same endless night over and over again, I feel genuinely touched by someone actually reaching out to me, breaking the monotony. I just want you to know that it really matters to me. Caller, you're on the air. You suck, Eddie! Did you know that this is my dream job? True fact.
That's great. That's good job. Good job. Well done, the writers at Remedy there. I hope they're proud.
When Dr. Rachel Meadows got the call from Michael, telling her to hurry to the observatory, she didn't waste any time. It had been a nice party. She'd had a good time, but her social life would always play second fiddle to the mysteries of space. Michael never showed up, of course. He'd pulled over at the wrong rest stop. She never even thought about him at the time. The phenomenon in the sky above her was too fascinating.
Many things in my life play second fiddle to the mysteries of space. I know how she feels. Let's go get that imaging array. See, it's new reality fragment 1. I haven't
The
read
atmosphere
that
in
one.
the projection booth at the drive-in was charged, almost unreal. Despite that, the air felt cool and refreshing this late at night. It'd been a hot day. The summer was nearing its end, but it wasn't over yet.
Okay, well that has very little to do with anything, I guess. 2 manuscript pages around here? Nice. I'm just cleaning up.
I've seen the enemy, and it's me.
Da-da-da.
I've faced dark horrors before, things that live in the unimaginable pressures of the world beyond our own. Sometimes they masquerade as humans. That's what ultimately lurks inside Mr. He's every mean-spirited tabloid story about me, an evil caricature, a creature formed in that vague territory of misconceptions, half-truths, and the dark imagination of people who heard a story about me. An urban legend made flesh, a serial killer, my dark half, brought to life by the power of Cauldron Lake.
We already fought your dark half in the last DLC though, so I don't know. I thought that handled it well, well enough. I don't know, that was his suicidal half, and I had lots of things to say about that because games portraying suicide is not very great. They have a lot to learn, or to... Games have not been the most empathetic in terms of how they portray mental illness, but Alan Wake has done a better job than most in its weird B-movie ridiculousness.
There are places where our world is worn thin, and another reality brushes against ours. One such site is Cauldron Lake near Bright Falls, Washington. But there are others. That other reality is dark, vast, and malleable, always in flux. In its depths dwell vast forces and alien energies. They're dangerous. But in one of these places, if you know how, you can channel the power of that place and use it to shape reality.
That sounds like it would come in handy. Oh, there's a... Is that her car? Nice. What's out here, though?
The darkness rose from the depths of Cauldron Lake and took Alice. It needed words. It needed me to write its way into our world. She was leverage, a hostage. I complied, but with a twist. I put in a loophole that gave me a chance to fight back. I was hunted by shadowy enemies, but I faced the darkness. I fought it with light. I drove it back. I saved Alice, but it came with a cost. I was trapped in the dark place below Cauldron Lake.
Previously on Alan Wake. Man, this really, in terms of premise, does definitely feel like second season of a show that's not meant to go on more than one season. Like, oh, he's already sacrificed himself. What do we do? Shit. I guess now he's like in a battle with his alternate self in the real world, in the fake world. Right, let's keep going. I can heal there. Let's heal. Why did it say 30 to 162? I'm very confused. Oh, it's 30 to 62. Okay, sorry. It's fine, I can take him. You know, they're just birds. Fuck off.
Stories come naturally to us. We can't help it. There are many different worlds, many competing realities within our heads, fueled by books, television, even barely remembered childhood tales. There's an endless supply of fictional concepts more familiar to us than anything or anyone real. We have a far greater connection to the fictional characters we know and love than the random people we pass on the street. Our destinies and inspirations are shaped by lies, myths, and fables.
Says a writer. Come on. I'm kidding. He's not wrong. I agree with that, actually. I just sent off an application to a thing that was full of me going like, power of stories and blah, 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 and, you know. Sending off applications is always fun because you sound like a right Burke. I don't actually know what Burke means. It's just a British insult.
How dare you? No, wait. It isn't you, is it? I suppose you'd better come in. I'll unlock the door.
That everyone remembers, so I can just skip all the bullshit. What's this video, though?
I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that.
Fuck.
Like this. Need to get your hands dirty? No batteries, no moving parts, just physics.
I like
It's
that
technology you can depend on.
Alan Wake's idle
It's
animation
classic.
doesn't change while watching this horrifying thing his other self is doing. He's just like, look at him.
Speaking of classics,
Bored.
you need to be careful with this one now. If the victim suddenly twists, you might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style. Now this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so it won't open by accident in your pocket, but it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big, too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also great for dismemberings and whatnot.
Oh, dismemberings. Okay, sure, yeah.
The messy jobs.
Is he going to go through all of them?
I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff. Okay, now, guns. Not a big fan. I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet? I want you to understand that. I take pride in what I do. We can't both be worthless hacks, can we?
Hey. Man, this Mr. Scratch stuff is ridiculous. Let's be on our way. Let's be on our way. Ooh, is that a manuscript page? Is it up?
You'll have to forgive me, but this feels very strange. It seems like this has all happened before.
I have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
All right. Let's get it installed.
It has happened before, Doctor. Do I need to go outside and fix the batteries, though? Or fix the power when it stops working?
I think we can give this a go, although I have this strange feeling that something will
Don't
go
start
wrong.
it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes, that's right. I remember. All right, let me think. If they're sabotaging it, they'll be at the primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready to pick up the signal. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and
Ah,
explained
fine.
it to me. All of this is very strange. to me.
Fine. What do you need to explain to you, Dr. Meadows? Because I got your answers. I can give you answers.
Hello.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I seem to remember having had this encounter before.
It's not deja vu, Doctor. This has happened before. We're caught in a time loop.
That's utterly insane. How could that be?
I can't really explain it. I suppose I could call it magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Neither do I. But I can't argue with what I've experienced. Listen, what matters now is the signal. The last time we only caught a part of it. I need the rest of it. Whether you believe me or not, you want to look into this as much as I do, right?
Yes. All right.
I realize that you have trouble believing this.
That's an understatement. I can't deny that what you say resonates with me on some level I don't pretend to understand. But for all I know, I'm simply delusional.
But it's not just you. I've experienced the same thing as you. Doesn't that prove something, at least?
Maybe. On the other hand, given your appearance, and the fact that you're trying to convince me that I'm not insane, perhaps you're merely a hallucination that accompanies my delusions.
She's got a point.
I'm not having a psychotic episode, Doctor. For what it's worth, I'm a skeptic by nature. I completely understand your reluctance to believe me.
There are people caught so deep in their psychosis that they retroactively manufacture memories and beliefs that conform to the situation at hand.
Sure, but you have to stop second-guessing yourself at some point, if you want to get something done.
He's got a point. He's a writer. Oh, good times. But no, I'm enjoying this. I feel like in this Let's Play I've been far less critical than I was in the Alan Wake Let's Play. In the Alan Wake Let's Play I was like, okay, here are how the mechanics don't really conform with the themes of the game. Here is this and what they're saying and close reading and blah 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 and being critical. But because that it's the same game exactly, and they've just already made everything the way it's gonna be, and there's no changes or anything that really matter at this point. It exists. It is what it is, and it continues to be what it is. So, you know, I don't really know what to say. Like, I like what they've added in terms of spatial exploration. I like how they've handled a lot of stuff here. Oh, how do I get through? Do I? Hang on. about you, go fuck yourself. Where did the... Oh, where'd the guy even come from? You saw me dodged him. You saw it happen, so you know I'm... Come on, I have to run down that thing. That's not okay. But yeah, what I was saying before that bad combat sequence occurred is that we don't... There's not really much to say about Alan Wake's American Nightmare, at least on a moment-to-moment reaction level. I could write an essay on it. I could write about how it talks about, you know, it goes further with its silly narrative ideas. And everything, but just... and ultimately I think this comes down to... This is really hard to do proper talks while I'm fighting off hordes of enemies, but I think it comes down to that it's very difficult to be moment-to-moment critical and be like, have a conversation about a game's strengths and weaknesses when there's such a direct sequel. Like this is just more Alan Wake in a different setting. There's far less going on.
The light, am I correct? You should be able to turn on the lights and secure the area that way.
Can you hear me? I think we're good to go.
All right. I'll start looking for the signal. Please, head back.
Will do. Oh, I have to go the long way around, do I?
I guess they didn't like that.
Damn mountain's trying to kill me.
This is pretty nonsense. I've been this way before. If only he could sprint a little longer, that'd be very, very handy. Excuse me. Where do I go then? Oh, that way. There is a manuscript page around here though, so I'll pick that up.
After my disappearance, they thought I was dead. I might as well have been. I know it's been 2 years. I know Alice has moved on. I've tried to find a way back to her, back to my life, but escaping the dark place is almost impossible. Time does strange things here, but dreams and radio signals can pierce the veil between the worlds. I catch glimpses and echoes of the world. Sometimes I send messages out. I can only pray that they hear them.
Alright, well that's interesting. Come on. Ah, no, come on. Oh, don't just be doing this. No, that's not okay. Boo, boo! Cool.
The Taken may well be the tool the darkness favors over any other. At some point, they used to be human, but whatever humanity they once had is long gone. Now they're just shells covered and filled by darkness. The Taken Mr. throws at me are more grotesque and varied than the ones I first encountered in Bright Falls. But I know how to deal with them. I'd be lying if I said they don't frighten me. But I've survived worse. I can't let them stop me.
There we go. What's in here? Oh, I'm almost at... How much have I got? I'm in the mid-30s, aren't I? So can't get that yet. Maybe I'll get that if there's a next time. If I've got 12 out of 16, then maybe this is actually the last time. Maybe it's only twice, but that doesn't seem like appropriate video game level. Bam, bam, bam! There we go. Ooh, let's take that. Start it up, Doctor. Start it up.
It's working. Please, come up here.
Are there going to be guys trying to fight us? Up we go. What is wrong with your eyes? They're just dark. You have no light bits in your eyes.
Yes, I don't think it's quite the same thing we had the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at it yourself. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Done it before.
Yes. I was involved in... It's a complex story. I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages. Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming I believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
Got a point.
It's not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
Don't look at me like that. You've experienced some of this yourself.
I will gladly admit that something exceedingly strange is going on. But this idea that you're somehow altering reality with your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my actions. Leaving aside the rational arguments against this, what gives you the right?
They're there.
It's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make?
No.
It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our destinies are determined by things like physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you agree?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be hangry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
Okay, so that conversation there goes against what was going on in the last game. Because what was going on in the last game is Alan Wake wrote a story specifically so he would be the only one to bear any consequence from
Another printout. Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete, but it's another piece of the weapon he has built against his adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Because when the last game ended, the whole point was that after he had been like choosing who lived and who died through writing their actions, he took responsibility for that and ended up at the bottom of the lake. And so to do this to more people and then to argue pro the ethics of that
The
seems
last
strange.
time the man came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is enough.
It's not.
Ugh. Serena's probably out of her mind again. But I'm gonna need that key so I can get the power back on.
This though.
To change the world, you must craft a blueprint for the new reality. Any work of art will do, as long as it's a genuine act of creation. That's what the energies of the dark place respond to. The results may be subtle and perplexing, or far-ranging and momentous.
Yeah.
My area of expertise, the written word, gives much more precise results than music or interpretive dance would, for instance. But words can be extremely dangerous. What you define may become reality, but so can that which you imply, even if you don't realize you're doing so.
Huh, okay.
You again.
I'm really just here to get the keys so I can get the power back on.
Do you want to hold me down? It's okay. I know you like that.
Yeah, I'll just grab the keys.
I could be like your wife. Little wifey. Waiting at home for hubby. Or you could be the mailman. Or the neighbor.
I'm already married to someone who isn't crazy, thanks. I'm just gonna go and get the power back on.
Aww.
Look, I may or may not be back. I have the access code to the booth already, so once the power is on...
You should totally come see me.
No, he
We can
turned the
have
lights
fun.
on.
You know.
We'll see how it goes. You should sit down or something. Try to stay calm.
I don't want to be calm. I want to be nasty. I want to be nasty with you.
Yeah. Okay.
You could do anything you want.
Nope.
You can use my...
Let's not even go there. I was hoping that you'd remember more, but I guess that was too much to ask.
Let's kick our ammo though.
I was about to do the weather, but I see we have a caller. Hey, you're on the air with Eddie. What's up?
Hey, Eddie, it's Ricky. You talked about fate before. You think about that a lot?
Not a lot, to be honest, but I take it you do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any conclusions you'd care to share, Ricky?
Well, we've got free will, right? That's in the Bible and everything.
Yeah, all right, sure.
So free will, right? Am I right? I mean, if we can do what we want, how can there be fate? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen next, so there's no fate. There's just people doing stuff.
Well, I don't know, Ricky. I don't suppose you have considered the possibility that we're all here in the service of a greater purpose, incomprehensible to us.
What's ooh?
And that what we take to be freedom is nothing more than the move of a pawn on some cosmic chessboard.
What?
Limited in
The
scope,
Night Springs guy?
subject to the whims of unseen players,
Existing only for their entertainment.
or perhaps we're just a twisted
Reflection
of actual events that can happen elsewhere. Could it be that such is life in Night Springs?
Dude, what?
Food for thought, Ricky. Food for thought.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. No fate but what we make. You know what's also a bad movie? Terminator fucking 2. I'm here to shit all over your childhood opinions. I'm just going to list some bad movies now. Okay, bad movies. Back to the Future, Terminator 2, Aliens. All the movies from the 80s and 90s that you love are in fact bad. Again, please direct all complaints on Twitter to TYLEA002. I will happily listen to your arguments about movies. Anytime. I also don't like Jurassic Park. I think some of it's good, but as a whole piece, I'm not a big fan. You may ask, Jackson, do you not like anything? That is untrue. I love many, many, many films, including Speed Racer and Robot Jocks. So, I have a great taste, is what I'm saying. Let's go restore power, and then we'll probably loop back, I assume. One more time to get the rest of the signal. Come on. Go away, would you? I don't need to furt bird pizza right now. Okay, there we go. Done. Into the booth we go. Or the power restore, not the booth. Ooh, okay, fine, isn't there? Uh-oh.
I want to talk about Alice. Just look at her. She's really beautiful, isn't she? Your wife. Well, our wife, really. Just my wife soon. Don't worry. I'm not gonna treat her like the others. She's special. If I wanted her dead, she would be. I've been around for a while now. So talented. You haven't seen her new work, of course. Oh, it takes my breath away. Really, she's that good. Did you know that I've got a wedding ring, too? We're that similar. She's seen me a couple times, you know? I've let her catch glimpses. She thinks she's imagining things, of course. She thinks you're dead.
The fact that his idle animation is just going on is amazing.
Even if you manage to keep surviving, you'll be in my trap forever. So I'll go to her. It'll be an amazing moment. Oh my God, you're alive. I'll be the good, loving husband for as long as I can stand it. She'll love it. And then, one day, somehow, it'll happen. Maybe I'll slip up, she spots something, or maybe she just starts running her mouth. And then, I'll do it. It's gonna be sweet.
You messed up, Mr. Scratch. You messed up. Oof. Okay. Oh, what's in? It's my ammo. What's the? Oh, it's that way. And then when the power's on, then I'll see all that stuff again. How do I head down there? I need to... Oh, it's that way. Sorry. I went right when I should have gone left. Okay. Come on. What's that? That thing that's glowing. That must be a weapon.
You're like a little hamster in a wheel. Go ahead and keep running for all the good it'll do you.
I shall. What's in the box? Assault rifle. Yeah, go on then, that sounds real dumb. I've used the carbine a bunch, this time we need the assault rifle. Oh, I remember how needlessly complicated the power section was, Christ. And I was, well, definitely be done with this section by the end of the episode, but I was wrong. This episode's going to go on a bit longer, I guess. Maybe, we'll see if we make it. If we don't make it, then we'll make it next time. But let's see this manuscript page.
For Serena Valdivia, burning the midnight oil was more of an exception than a rule. A procrastinator and a perfectionist, she often worked when she wouldn't be disturbed. Tonight was especially important. The film festival would open tomorrow, and there was still so much to sort out. It wasn't that the work hadn't been done. She just didn't feel like she had completely mastered everything yet.
Let's head to restore the power. You just put the 2 on the right. You put them all on. Okay, well that's not what it was last time. Oh, well, I guess that worked. I don't know. I just pressed them randomly. Oh, great, spiders! The least interesting enemies to fight in this game. Oh, is there a manuscript page? Yes.
The dark place is utterly hostile to human life. It eats at your mind, wants you to succumb to madness. Your own thoughts can turn against you. Every shadow conceals a threat that attacks at the slightest sign of weakness. You're under endless assault. Every day is a struggle for survival. But I've learned to take care of myself. I focus on Alice, our life together, my need to be with her. That takes me a long way in the dark place. As long as I have my gun and the flashlight.
The gun and the flashlight, the 2 things that matter most in Alan Wake's life, as we all know. You can no longer live without them.
If you die, you lose. If you quit, you lose. If you make it to the end of the loop, you still lose. Sucker.
Okay, well. Oh, that's good. That's definitely an assault rifle. I don't know why I'm using it. The carbine's clearly a better weapon. Let's play in the film again. But anyway, let's head to that projector building. Oh. Oh, I remember. The defenses. Come on. Bam. Because of the clear lower budget on this game, the lack of cutscenes is a bit of a disappointment. Because it just breaks, it just makes the rhythm of the game a bit duller. Because here most of the story things are just flat talking to whatever girl is in whatever location. And the addition of like pressing a button to advance a conversation is interesting because it gives you a chance to move on if you want to, or the chance to just let things exist and to stay how they are, but the flow of the game changes in some big ways. It's clear this was scraped together. And I'm glad they did it because it's what I want. I'm glad there's more of it.
The Champion of Light knows that the time itself is about to end. At least for him. He can feel the dead end rushing towards him. But there is time to act. Incomplete or not, he has the weapon.
I don't have the whole thing, but maybe it's enough.
Late at night, so much to film noir poster visible. Okay, oh, so that's what I need. So it's... Okay, and what's here? January. Used, come on. Let's do the thing.
It's not enough. You're trying to be cute, aren't you? What are you up to? It's a waste of time, buddy. You should just lie down and die. Let me take over. This is the only thing you've got coming to you. From here to eternity. No matter how many times you come back.
Ah, well, that was... Sure was something. Alright, we're back. We are back. And that is going to do
Time
it.
folds back on itself. Again. His senses scream as the very impossibility of what is happening assaults them. But the Champion of Light endures.
That's going to do it for this episode of Alan Wake.
Each time he gets a little closer. Each time another detail falls into place. Now the trap works against the Herald of Darkness.
And that's gonna be the video. I hope you have enjoyed. Next time maybe it's like 2 videos to the end, maybe 3, I think 2 or 3. We're over halfway. I'm assuming that the next time it's enough. God, I hope it's enough. I can't go through these environments 3 times. They're running out of places to put me. But yeah, this is a great game. This is, well, no, it's an okay game, but I'm having a great time. I'm sorry that there's very little interesting things to be critical about and like make points and dissect it, because it's just this thing that's content to exist and not be super challenging in terms of what it's offering. It's very honest. It's honest about what it is, and I'm glad. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on this Let's Play of Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Goodbye.